Be able to broadcast this hour and a half with you. We're going to start out with telling you that we got all kinds of people coming up. Chris Ferguson, Gordy Gundaker, Aaron Morey from Bilstein going to give us kind of the state of the folks from Bilstein. Spencer Baston supposed to be here for those folks in the winged world. That guy and the other guys back there behind me are Dirty Grass Soul. They're going to be coming up to play afterwards, so they're setting up their stuff back there as they should. And we're going to have an opportunity to talk to Kevin Dedman, the lead for Dirty Grass Soul. They've got a new album and such. And for those of you out there that follow iRacing, you probably have raced, if you've raced Dirt Late Model, against Kevin. He even won a World of Outlaws iRacing deal during COVID. So we'll get him up here, and we're also going to be talking about the brand new World of Outlaws video game and talk to one of their stars, Evan C. So should be a lot of fun stuff. So all kinds of really, really interesting people to be up here. While we get them set, we're going to break away. We'll chat with a few sponsors via their commercials, and we'll be right back here to the Party Pavilion at zMax Dragway, the World of Outlaws World Finals pre-race show. PRN's at the track. Stay with us.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle, the World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Case Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Series Big Blocks collide. 4 action-packed nights, 3 season champions. Get your tickets now. November 2nd through the 5th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Since 1985, Willys Carburetor and Dyno Shop has been part of thousands of wins and championships at racetracks across the country. Each Willys carburetor is hand-built, sent across a dyno and tuned before shipping. That means your carburetor arrives race-ready. Just bolt it on and go. Plus, Willys 2 chassis dynos can dial in winning setups for a variety of race cars. Willys Carburetor and Dyno Shop, the choice of champions.
Yo, woke up. Let's go.
I just sat down.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
It's simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Welcome back to the Party Pavilion, as it's called, CMS Camping. We usually have a lot of campers that come over here. We've just gotten our hauler parade done. All the vehicles starting to go inside and get their parking spots and such. So while they do that, and a lot of them are driven by the drivers and such, so we're going to bring in the man that you may have heard last week during the World Short Track Championship on the microphone up there, Dylan Coyle. But you're really the fan engagement guy, aren't you? I think you got to hit the button there. There you go.
I hit the button. There we go.
You hit the button. I like the shades. You know, you're an approachable guy, but the shades just, add that aura.
A little bit. And, here's my secret. These are also my glasses because I can't see without glasses. I'm not a contact kind of guy. So, these $20 shades from Amazon do me real well.
They're very, very good. Did you go out last night? Did you Halloween or any of that?
I didn't really do any Halloweening last night. I know a few coworkers of mine definitely did. I saw one of our Dirt Vision producers was wearing the same thing that Ryan Gosling's character wore from Blade Runner 2049. So was a little jealous when I saw that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'm going out as a race fan. How about that?
The best there is.
Yeah.
You know, Bruton Smith always tells us or told us, you know, we work for them. We work for the fans. And you get to interact with a bunch. Let's start out with what you're doing inside the pavilion tonight.
Yes.
You've got the iRacing game?
Yeah, the World of Outlaws dirt racing video game. It's a ton of fun. I play it way too much at home myself. Yeah, my career mode. I just purchased a super late model. So watch out on track. There might be somebody coming in the virtual world soon. But no, it's a lot of fun. You can pretty much play.
Coil the spoiler.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that. Or Dylan the villain.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. The shades. Really.
That's right.
Yeah, that really works with that play.
So folks that are here tonight and throughout the weekend will have an opportunity to test race it?
Yes, in the Midway and, of course, in the Pavilion right now. We're going to have anybody, if they want to come up, test drive the new game, they can absolutely do that. We got some Xboxes out. We're going to have 2 Xboxes, so 2 people can be doing it at once in the Midway this week. So a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be had.
Absolutely. Been a fun year. Since you're here, and I know your heart was touched like my heart was touched, and we lost a great friend.
Yeah, we did.
This Friday, I'll be off at another business venture, but I know there's a special honoring and memorial for Rick Eshelman. Have you got any insight into that? I believe it's happening here in the Pavilion, isn't it?
I believe so, from 10 to 12 on Friday. So that's a lot of people are gonna speak. A lot of people are going to go through some happy memories, some happy times with Rick, because there's plentiful.
What was your nickname?
Oh, God, what wasn't my nickname? The DoorDash Demon, King Ramada, because I didn't know that the Ramada Hotel was pronounced Ramada because I'd never seen one before, and I called it Ramadan. He just said he cracked up at that. So Cabbage Patch Kid, sometimes Philly's favorite song, which I love the most, but
Lemony Snickets.
That was your nickname.
Yep, that was my Eshelman nickname.
That was your nickname.
Yep.
I love that. I can't use it in because I feel like that was Rick's and Rick's only, but I do love it.
Every time you would, I know you would be honoring, and I would be honored in the same light.
Right.
He was just a great guy.
Oh, my goodness, he
such.
was.
And the fans are going to get to be a part of that on Friday as well, and also engage with you throughout the weekend on the Midway for some good fun.
Yeah, good fun with the World of Outlaws dirt racing game, other than doing redraw and being near the fans with that opening ceremonies, things like that. We also have the Fan Fest from 2 to 4 each day of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah, with the extended program now, you got some more time to, kind of mix and mingle, right?
Exactly. The series that is off each day of racing will have a Fan Fest with the drivers from 2 to 4. Their cars will be there.
The Super Dirt cars will be tomorrow.
Super Dirt Car Series is tomorrow.
Ooh, Mad Max, Money Matt Shepard.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
have a different game, an interactive game. Besides just autographs, taking pictures with the drivers, we might have some fun games. So good times there. Good times.
How about this year? What was, I saw that you had a good time at Fairbury.
Oh, yeah.
And typically you're going to have a good time at the World of Outlaws event. Oh, PDC for sure. But what was one of those surprise tracks for you that, was it somewhere in Kentucky like where Tanner English would race at in his late model?
Is he over there? He's over there. Yeah, there was that. So honestly, and this is going to sound funny because it just happened, we raced at 81 Speedway. Ooh. Some of the greatest excited fans that we've had all year. I didn't expect that, being in Kansas and never really going there at all, but just so much fun. The fans were rowdy. It's a lot more fun for me when I can I just say boo and the fans say yes.
Well, Dylan, you have brought a new venture to the fan interaction. This guy here, all throughout, not only World of Outlaws World Finals here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but all throughout the racing, typically the late model side more so than the sprint side?
Typically the late model side, and it's been a lot of fun, but, we're all World of Outlaws, we're all a World Racing Group, so whatever it can do to promote the series, that's what I'm here for.
Well, appreciate you stopping by, and folks, stop by and make sure that you see Dylan. If you're here, make sure you see him over at the the video game area, and if not, certainly throughout the time. And when you're coming here, I don't know whether our guys can pan over and see this big old check from Speedway Children's Charities, but I know the great folks at Eldora do an awesome job, and a lot of tracks do a great job of a 50-50, but Speedway Children's Charities, half of that money goes to you. Half of that money goes directly to the kids. So you might see a red bucket out there. You could drop it in. And if you're here tonight, there's even a booth just off stage side so that you can go over and buy your 50-50 ticket early so that you can win what should be a giant purse. All the money goes straight to the kids. Marcus Smith and Speedway Motorsports cover all the expenses of Speedway Children's Charities so that every dollar that you put in goes right to the kids. And speaking of kids, well, he's not a kid anymore, but he is a rookie. Tanner English. I saw you were doing some video Chamber of Commerce work there over the last day or so on, Rusty Grafal is asking you questions. Rusty's cool. What did he ask you? I think you got to hit the button over there. There you go. Yep, make it green. Yep, just a light tap.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he said, out of me, my dad, and my father-in-law, Rodney, he was wondering, who would win a race out of us three. So I said, out of those three, Rodney's probably the most aggressive, and, he's probably going to do whatever it takes to get it done. So out of those three, I'd say Rodney would probably get it done. He'd probably put us in the wall and get it done. But
you got it done this year, second in points in a rookie season. I remember when we were chatting at PRI, it was just, everything was wide-eyed and exciting to go there at all, and a couple of wins, 11 top fives. What was, kind of that moment? I know they used to use it. They used to say, my outlaw moment. When was your outlaw moment?
So I'd say, Davenport was probably the turning point in my season. It really turned things around for me. We started doing a lot better. I actually switched to Bilstein shocks that weekend, so that was a big change for me, and it really helped out our program a ton. We just got a lot more consistent from then on.
They seem to have the engineering package really down, and if you need some advice, they can draw from so many different angles to be able to get it to you. Am I correct?
That's right. Aaron and everybody there do a great job, and I talk to Vinny quite a bit and just try to bounce ideas off everybody, and that's what it takes, to be consistent in this deal, and you got to always be learning and trying new things, and as soon as you get complacent, you start falling back. So you just got to.
So let's go back to Davenport. What that day made the switch change for you?
So I don't know. Everything kind of fell into place. I really, I do better when I struggle a little bit in the beginning of the night. Because that's when I start throwing stuff at a car. So we actually didn't make it through the heat race. Had to run a B main. Went out for that B main. I changed everything. So we changed everything on the car. Went back out there and won that B main. Then we started 18th in that feature and won that second night at Davenport. So that was just a big deal for us. To get that win, get that first World of Outlaw win, and get that monkey off our back. And just from then on, I think we had 18 top 10s or something like that in a row. So
from our conversation at PRI, you head out and, you got to go to Florida and all the rest. What were some of the new things that you didn't even know were coming at you until you got some of them? What do you tell the folks back at home that are hopeful little late model drivers that want to be you, the next you? What surprises could you advise them are coming that they don't even see yet?
Just the change in track conditions. Every place is different. They all got their own characteristics, and just you got to constantly be searching and making sure you're on top of your game and looking at the track surface and not falling behind on stuff like that. Always got to be changing, searching around on the racetrack for one. You can't you can't run one line the whole race. All these tracks change constantly. So, just paying attention to the surface and, like I said, this competition is rough.
You excited to come back next year, though?
Definitely, yeah.
I think one more spot on the rung?
Exactly, yeah. I would have never expected. I mean, we really that was what we set out to do, is win the championship. It's great that we won that rookie deal, or we're leading the rookie deal. We hadn't won it yet, but
Blair will be here in a little while, and we're Dolphin fans. I may just take his helmet. He can't race, and we'll insure it for you.
That'd be all right, yeah. But Max has been a really good competitor, and he's come along.
But Gordy won the party, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. He's like all these guys. I love racing with all of them, and they're good people and good group to be around for sure. We all help each other out, and just try to learn from each other, and we're all trying to make the same things happen. So it's a fun little group to be around.
Well, we're fortunate to learn just how good you are to be able to just step in and end up second in points here. Congratulations on that. Really, really amazing, the journey that you've been on this year. Can't wait to see you come back to some places and be able to really take them on. Thanks for stopping by, and appreciate you doing work with Bilstein, as they're just good folks, obviously, for us as well. Tanner English, the second in points in the World of Outlaws Case Construction late models. And we have another guest coming from that group, and he'll be up here in just a moment. But you're tuning in to PRN's At the Track, our pre-race show from the Party Pavilion, the Camping Party Pavilion here, alongside of zMax Dragway, which is also right next to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where this weekend's events actually start tomorrow. There'll be late models and sprint cars on the racetrack. Then the big block modifieds come the next day. And we've got another one of those. Now, you're going to need to hit that button and make it green. Not that one green. You're going to talk to the producer. There we go. Gordy Gundaker has come up. So how's it going, STL?
It's not too bad, glad to be here in Charlotte and ready to get the week going.
Man, I missed you when I was at Modified Mania out there at Tri-City.
Yeah, I know. It was weird not being there. I had a lot of guys ask me, where I was at, and obviously we were out on the road, and they were like, hey, man, the party's been a little down this weekend without you here, so definitely missed it, but Mom and Dad had a great event that weekend. What
was the track that, I'm talking about the racetrack. We'll talk about the party afterwards, but what was the racetrack that surprised you was the most fun for you to drive? Whether you finished good or not, but the one that was most fun.
Definitely Grand Forks up there in North Dakota.
Yeah.
That was actually, it was really awesome. That place had a lot of Illinois feel. And
so dark dirt?
Yep, dark dirt, and we raced all over it. And I think I run 7th. I won my heat race and just didn't hit it in the feature, right? But yeah. It was a really cool place. The atmosphere was really neat. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that place, and I hope we go back next year.
Where did the fans surprise you that they knew you, that you didn't expect people knew you there?
Actually, it was just this past weekend there when we went out to Humboldt and 81 and all that. There were a ton of people out there that showed up for all those races, which was really, really neat. And, it was in Kansas and Missouri, but, there was a lot of my shirts I haven't seen, for 3 or 4 years that were out there. And late models don't go out there a lot. So it was really, really neat to see all those people show out, and they had huge crowds. So it was great for our sport.
I mean, I've known you too long now, 15, 20 years. So I see you differently. What do the fans see in Gordy Gundaker that they tell you that they enjoy you doing?
Well, I think that, just my personal side, I feel like I'm really outgoing and like to have a lot of fun and to hang out with the fans. And obviously we keep our car out a little bit later than I think most of the guys do. And but, at the same time, I think it's pretty neat. I've been, obviously around racing a long time. So, those people I feel like relate to me because I've been in it my whole life, obviously with Mom and Dad and the racetrack and Dad racing. So I just really love the people that come out to support our racing because obviously without them we couldn't do it.
What was the year like? Where did you go that, you want to go back to because you think now you can do better at it? Give me some stories.
Yeah, there's a bunch of places that I feel like we probably should have been a lot better at that we weren't. And I think it was just a struggle for me, and at times just getting out there and being on different racetracks and getting out east in places I've never seen. So one of the big places I want to go back to is Port Royal Speedway. That place was
Take
really
me with
neat.
you. I'd love to go there.
Yeah. They do a great job just promoting the event. The facility's beautiful and the racetrack's awesome. And we didn't. I think we run like 14th, but I felt like we should have been a lot better, and it sounds like we're going to get to go back there next year, and I'm ready to get back there because I feel like we should be in the top 5 at that place.
Wow. So, parties, where should, if we were filling out our, party card, where are a couple of places that we need to go that we don't realize, besides PDC? We know that that's going to be a good party. So where should we put on our dance card if we wanted to follow you around and know that we're going to have a rock'em sock'em time?
You know what, I tell you what, just any of those 2-day events I feel like we've gone to, recently we went up to Sharon Speedway, and that place was really, really neat. Earlier in the year, we went to Atomic, and I'd never been there, and there was they had a big crowd and a lot of people hanging out around there after the races. And like I said last week, Humboldt and 81 were the same way. The people really showed up and showed out, and we like to hang out and have fun and turn the speaker up as loud as we can a little too late at night, and that's part of it, though. It's what people want to come out. They want to hang out with us. It's a little, I think that's the special thing about our sport. The dirt side compared to the asphalt side is, the people get to be more personal with us and can really come hang out if they want to.
You really do. It's amazing the access in the dirt world that, we get to see pavement and dirt, and man, I have so much more friends on this side because we're able to interact more.
Yep.
And all. How about turning up? You go into next year and you have the winter break off. What, other than washing it all and clean it and take it apart and stuff, what do you want on your Christmas list to be able to, even tick this thing up another notch next year?
Well, I just think that here about the last month or so, we've really hit a stride. Jonathan Davenport and Jason Durham, those two guys have really been helping me a ton lately. And it's,
you're hanging out over Davenport's every now and then?
Yeah, we actually just came from there. We spent the last week there.
You have to do any farm work to pay the trade?
He puts us to work out there, actually. But, it's a little change of pace, but it's also a lot of fun. Getting there to hang out with JD. I've been pretty close friends with him and obviously Rachel. And it was an enjoyable week for sure. But, yeah, those guys have really helped me a lot. They answer the phone for me all the time. And I think over the last month we found some issues that we needed to work out. So I really think going into next year we're probably going to surprise some more people. I feel like a lot of people doubted us and didn't even think we were going to come be here at Charlotte and run the whole year. I think people didn't think I was going to make it out of Speed Weeks, but they're biting their tongues now.
Yeah, I think there's that history of people going to Speed Weeks with all good intentions and then falling out. But you've got it in you, like you said, family. You've been there, since day one and such. What was the thing, with all that family experience, but you still went out on the road for the main part on your own? What was the surprise? What did you learn that you didn't know you were going to learn?
How much I was going to get my ass kicked, really, pardon my language, no, but it's the truth.
There's some butt kickers out there.
I'm telling you what, I really thought that, not that I thought it was going to be easy, but I thought, we're going to go out here and kind of show everybody what we can do. And just
figured you could get top 5 almost,
knock a win or two off. And, it just didn't happen because once you get on the road, you realize how good these guys really, really are day in and day out. And obviously I've respected it long before this, but you respect it even more what these guys have done on the road and the guys that have done it for a longevity of time.
Did you tweak your morning prep stuff, as the season went on differently, got more serious more early in the day or something?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You learn to take notes. You learn to ask better questions, I guess you'd say, and really pick the brains of the guys that are really smart and have done it for a long time. Like I said, I've been fortunate to know a lot of these guys and race around them, so it's easy for me to get up there and ask them. But, just definitely learned a lot of things and took my lumps and my bruises, and we made it to this part, and we'll finish the season out, and then we'll be ready again in January.
We can't wait. It's so cool that, to go from where you were in the year, it flew by, didn't it?
It really did. We were just, it feels like we just were going to Speed Weeks, and it feels like we're going to get done here and race the dome and be ready to go again.
Gordy, thanks for stopping by and chatting with us. Say hey to Mom and Dad, and we appreciate it. Fans, stay with us. We'll be right back here after these messages to the Charlotte Motor Speedway Camping Pavilion alongside of zMax Dragway right next to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is your World of Outlaws World Finals pre-race show. PRN's at the track. We'll be right back.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle. The World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Cased Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Series Big Blocks collide. 4 action-packed nights, 3 season champions. Get your tickets now. November 2nd through the 5th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Since 1985, Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop has been part of thousands of wins and championships at racetracks across the country. Each Willie's Carburetor is hand-built, sent across a dyno and tuned before shipping. That means your carburetor arrives race-ready. Just bolt it on and go. Plus, Willie's 2 chassis dynos can dial in winning setups for a variety of race cars. Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop, the choice of champions.
Yo, woke up. Let's go.
I just sat down.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
It's simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us. What can we learn?
Welcome back to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. zMax Dragway, we're all in and amongst it in the Party Pavilion for the CMS Camping Center. I'm Lenny Batiki, PRN's at the track. Pre-race show for the World of Outlaws World Finals. And certainly excited to have this man joining us, Chris Ferguson. And hey, man, what you up to? Got some new clothing on there lately. Seeing a lot of you in that. You're like the male model for that bunch now, aren't you? Oh, wait. You got to hit that button there and make it green. Just tap it. There you go.
We good now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is my number one sponsor, Sweet Victory, a.k.a. my girlfriend, Jenna. So she dresses me now. That's
I
why
like
look a
the
lot
colors, kind of, lightly faded, but still cool looking and all.
Comfort colors. It's comfortable whether you're doing an interview or you're sitting at home.
Are you starting to kind of be, hey, I want this color, that color, maybe get them to, design some, Fergie style?
Honestly, I have terrible taste, so I'm going to leave that up to Jenna. She does a great job with it, so I'm just going to let her pick out my clothes and all the style.
Yeah, good taste in a partner to be around.
100%. I'm very lucky and blessed.
You are. A fun year. Got to win a big one in Missouri, right?
Yep.
And now you started an iRacing team?
Yeah.
What's that about? You got a rig here and something, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. The iRacing folks, they've been really good to us. So WR1 Sim chassis, Chad Wheeler supplies us with WR1 Sim rigs, and we got one in-house here at the show today, and we got the number one dirt iRacer over there, Evan C. He won the Pro Series this year, the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Our other driver, Blake Majulis, finished second. They both won 9 out of 10 races, so they brought home almost more money than I did this year.
Evan comes from kind of the background karting world that you do, isn't he? In an Ultramax kart at some point? Is it this is the rig you're seeing there, that setup? They do. Look at all them folks around that.
Yeah, for sure. The World of Outlaws, in iRacing, they work really good together, and it's fun to have the sim rig, which Gordy's on right now, and then also we have the console
Is
game.
he doing okay? Or are you putting too much wheel in it?
Gordy looks like he's hacking, so probably not too good. But you know what? As long as he doesn't do that on the real racetrack, he'll be fine.
Right. How about the sim to the racetrack for you? Does it make a difference for you right now?
Yeah, it definitely does. A lot of people don't realize this, but every dirt track on there, we race that in real life, whether it's Lucas Oil Raceway, the dirt track at Charlotte, Port Royal, even Bristol Dirt. It's good to be able to go make laps at those places and really work on your timing, and not only that, but also the closing rate. And it's something that myself, Hudson O'Neill, Gordy, there's Devin Moran, there's a lot of us that do it, but a lot of people are missing out on, and I'm very thankful to have that edge on them.
Do y'all call each other up and have mini races, or do you wait for the bigger ones?
Yeah, we have a lot of fun races because we can wreck each other on there and it not cost nothing compared to real life.
Right. Nobody's having to bang out sheet metal or fix a broken wheel or any of that other stuff. Overall, the season, the big win and such, and you've kind of picked your spots.
Yeah.
How are you set up for this weekend?
Yeah, I'm tickled. We've really turned the page on running good in the big races, winning 250,000s this year and then getting a win at Eldora. And
those pictures of you at Bristol, Victory Lane, that's amazing.
Cool, man. It's something I'm going to look at in 20 years from now and be proud of to win last year and this year. But really, I'm just proud of being able to show up at big races and contend for wins. And that's something that I've been aspired to do my entire racing career. And here we are at my home track trying to do it again.
Well, you've won here as well.
Yes.
Does that, when you go back and think, okay, I got to race this weekend, do you try to find that space in your thoughts of what that day was like years back when you won here in it was a crate late model, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. For sure. It's that feeling, sitting on the front stretch in front of all your friends and family. And then not only that, but I have so many sponsors and friends that come in town just for this race. So every time I get on track, it's like being at home, and I tested here a couple weeks ago, was super familiar with it, and just looking to get past that little hump of running top 5 and actually put it in Victory Lane in the super late model.
We ask a lot of drivers a lot of questions about racing and stuff, but you're riding around in that 4-wide, all 3 division deal, and those gas bombs go off. What's that feeling like? The grandstand goes nuts. You got gas bombs going off. You got cars all around you. What's it like for you in the seat during that time?
It's awesome. There's not, when I first got into super late model racing, I loved doing the 4-wide, and then over the years, it's just gotten repetitive, to say the least. I know the fans love it, but the drivers were kind of used to it now. But when we get to go out there and there's a sprint car and a big block modified behind us in line and they're going crazy and the fans are going crazy, it still brings back that little bit of magic in the 4-wide for us.
Wow. Well, we can't wait to see it this weekend. You've got your car set up, the crew set up, a little bit of iRacing, and I think the magic might be there for that third big-time win for you this season. You ready?
I think so. I'm just tickled to be here, and I'm happy to be, in the situation I am with my sponsors, crew, family, fans, everybody that's involved in my race team, and looking to put a stamp on the year this weekend.
Well, we can't wait. And a sharp-dressed man you are in that apparel. Hey, we've got a big announcement with World Racing Group coming up. And we're going to pause here for about 60 seconds, go to a break right now, and then we're going to have some breaking news. So stay with us. We'll be right back from Charlotte and the dirt track.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle. The World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Case Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Series Big Blocks collide. 4 action-packed nights, 3 season champions. Get your tickets now. November 2nd through the 5th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Since 1985, Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop has been part of thousands of wins and championships at racetracks across the country. Each Willie's Carburetor is hand-built, sent across a dyno and tuned before shipping. That means your carburetor arrives race-ready. Just bolt it on and go. Plus, Willie's 2 chassis dynos can dial in winning setups for a variety of race cars. Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop, the choice of champions.
Welcome back to PRN's At the Track pre-race show for the World of Outlaws World Finals, and a big announcement sitting right there. Stevie Francis, Kentucky Colonel, all the rest. But I understand you darn did well and got you a new job. What's the story?
Well, I guess they're going to announce here that I'm going to take over as the series director for the World of Outlaws late models in 2023. So we're excited about that. The whole World Racing Group organization, when Brian and I first talked, he said, I want you to take something and build it from a racer standpoint. So we've spent a lot of time with schedule. We've spent a lot of time with the way the points are calculated to the way everything about it, and just trying to build it a little bit more from a racer standpoint, travel-wise, everything else, to make it make the most sense we can do.
So from point A to point B to C, more strategic than just placement on the calendar?
Yes. And, we've looked at everything from purses, the way the late model purses are laid out, to tow monies and different ways of distributing that. And, really, when we come to the end of the line, World Racing Group had a pretty good plan with their Dirt Vision bonus bucks and everything already laid out. So really just the mileage of the trips that we make and the way we make the tours run, and where you can go out and be on the road for 8 or 10 days straight and then come home and be home for a week or so, is what we looked at doing more the way it was back when I raced, the World of Outlaws in the early 2000s.
Well, that was actually where I was going. You've been around long enough to have seen a lot of different race directors, a lot of different track promoters, a lot of different series come through. Who were some of those that just you've always thought of, man, that guy had a couple of good ideas. I respect that guy for the way he did this and that. A couple of those stories that shaped who you are going to be in this role. Who were some of the mentors, whether they knew it or not, but that from the driver's seat, like you're talking about, that you thought, that cat gets it enough that, well, I like what he's doing?
Man, that list is huge. It goes to, my...
We got an hour. I'd sit and listen to you tell stories for an hour, so don't even worry.
Well, my wife's family promoted racetracks, so I've, since her and I've been married, I've learned a lot about the ins and outs from that, and that was really my first look at the promoter side versus the driver team owner side.
What does a racer not realize that the promoter side really has as their day-to-day life?
Well, it's damn sure not just show up and put water on the track on Friday and race Friday night. It's a week-long commitment, just like the race car is. You have the same maintenance of the equipment it takes to run the series up and down the road. The radios are broke. The truck needs new tires. All those things to, okay, the water truck now broke, or the grader's down, or the guy that was going to run the grader can't do it today. It's just a different set of problems, but it takes the same amount of time and work.
Wow. So how about just the overall, like a series guy, one of those different series that, maybe is long gone now, that you thought, man, they kind of had some good stuff. It's just like the XFL and the NFL. We know the XFL had its day, but it did bring a few innovations to it. Did you see something that you have seen in the past that, we need to try that somewhere down the line?
Yeah, and you get more of that from the series, or from the track promoters, and some track promoters that are, Cody Summer would go out on a limb and do something. Yeah. Whoever thought about putting dirt cars back in the dome again? You get different people that have different ideas, and you try to put them together. Tim Crispin, back when he ran this thing, he done a heck of a job with it. He really kind of ran it in a different way than, say, like the older series from the 90s, the old Stars series and some of that. Tim kind of brought something different. Rick Swally at Lucas Oil, he's done a lot of good things there. Rick's taught me a lot of things from that side of it. So there's been that list goes on, and you can't sit here and just think of every one of them. You'll be sitting here, if you want to go all the way back, you got to go back to Earl Baldus. Who thought starting the World 100 in the 70s would be what the World 100 is today?
But out-of-the-box thinkers, risk takers, but with the heart of the sport in mind. Would you say that's the common denominators?
Yes, it is. And you can walk down in this pit area, and everybody has an idea of how it should be done or how you should do it different. But, sometimes you don't think of this. You go down there and you listen to everybody's opinions, and then you try to form what is going to work for everybody. One guy might not like this idea, but the other guy says that's a great idea. So you try to balance out the racer, the promoter, the series, all those things to make it work for every one of them.
Well, I think they found the guy that will come close enough to that and make things even better. Steve, thank you for stopping by, and appreciate you making the announcement. They informed me in my ear that as you were coming up, that announcement was going out to everybody. So we kind of simultaneously got the word out that you're the new guy. And thank you very much for being here and what you will do to lift the World of Outlaws, Case Construction late models. Can't wait to see it in action as we go to Florida and beyond. Be right around the corner.
Yep. We look forward to it.
we're really excited about the schedule. The schedule is basically finished. We have one or two things we need to confirm yet. It's basically finished. Really we're in as good a shape as I think we could possibly be in at this time.
Well, thank you, and look forward to that big announcement. I'm sure it's on the horizon, and maybe more as we come. Folks, you just heard it, the big announcement from World Racing Group, their new series director for the World of Outlaws Late Models Case Construction Series, Steve Francis. We can't wait to see how things continue to expand and grow. The series already a good one, and with that guy right there, it's only going to find better days. Now, one of the drivers that we have coming up is Spencer Baston, I believe, our first World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series driver will be coming up and getting into the chair next to me. So as he does that, we'll tell you about where we're at here on the stage. Bilstein Shocks helping us out to get here tonight. Remember those folks, not just for your dirt super late model and such, but really street stocks, all the rest, and doing a lot more at retail. The great folks from Bilstein here with us. And Spencer's gotten wired up. I think you got to hit the red button, make it go green, and there we go. So how do you even talk about a season that has a Bristol win and is it Huset's or
Huset's
win? Those are big places to grab wins, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. At the beginning of the year, we had some really, really good speed and actually led a lot of laps, but none of them seemed to really fall our way. And then, getting that first one out of the way there at Bristol was definitely special. And, up until that point, probably my biggest win of my career. So just a really good kind of kickoff to our season, then be able to follow it up with our True Timber release at Huset's and winning the first night with the new scheme was really special. So
did you go down to South Carolina and see those boys at the place yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
not
man.
yet. It's on my list, and I see you're carrying a little TTC yourself.
Yes,
so.
Indeed. Yeah, it is. This is one of the most comfortable garments I have.
Absolutely.
So when you go down that way, tell them we said, hey. They do so much, so good, and appreciate them being on your ride. Winning at Bristol, the kind of the Southeast fan, kid from Indiana, now racing for Pennsylvania team, and then you go way out west and win out there. What are those autograph sessions after you win like, and what is the difference between them, the fans out there as they're coming up cheering you for winning that day?
Yeah, it's always special, obviously interacting with the fans and getting to experience all the different regions we go to.
Mm-hmm.
All fans we see have a common thread. They're diehard race car fans, right? We all share the same interests, but seeing the different backgrounds, hearing about some of the people and where they come from, whether we're in the Northwest, we're down in Florida, we're out in Pennsylvania. It's really, really cool getting to interact with all them and learn a lot about kind of the areas. Some of the places we went this year I'd never seen before, or a lot of the places we went we hadn't seen before. So getting to go out and experience a little bit during the weeks and
what's
kind of see the
kind of
scenery.
that diversion away from the racetrack? I know sometimes you only get a few hours, but you get to go to some place, even if it's just an ice cream shop sometimes, just to get the noise of the racing out of your head for a second. What was one or two that was special this year?
I think the Northwest was really cool just because I'd never been up there. We did, my girlfriend and I, Audrey, did a day in Seattle, and then we made our way up.
So you saw the fish throw thing
we went and checked out the market and all that. Yeah, we did all that. So just getting to kind of go see cool things that are, high on your bucket list and, places in the country that you want to experience. So that's what really makes it special when you're not at the racetrack.
How about a track this year that you ran that you can't wait to go back next year? Some place that when you left you said, I'm coming back for better times this year. What is one that's on your next year's bucket list that you're looking for?
Honestly, probably Tulare, which was a place that was always high on my list. When I was kind of watching, and before this year, I never got to go out there. And then obviously this year we went out and had really, really good speed both nights. We led laps both nights and wasn't able to win either of them. And looking back, watching back on the film, there's so much that I needed to do differently and a lot that I have learned throughout the year.
It's NARC, right, out there?
Well, that's their
you
competing
see a lot
series.
of the local guys out there from that. Do they race differently in that pocket of the country?
I think they do. They're seemingly very aggressive no matter where you are in the field.
They're going to slide you no matter what?
So you kind of have to be elbows up. It's an elbows up racetrack, and that's a place I really, really want to go back and hit hard again and carry the speed that we had, but clean up some of my mistakes and hopefully click off a win or two there.
You ready to go fast here?
I am. This is I've been fortunate to be able to compete at this event the last few years. It's always a really cool way to end the season, and such a spectacular facility. There's always a really, really good turnout with fans. It's just a special event, and obviously a good transition into the off season and trying to have a big weekend here with our True Timber 5 car. And, really, really finish this year strong and carry us through the winter.
Bring home a True Timber multi-pointer
right.
with that trophy. Spencer Baston, our guest here at the World of Outlaws World Finals pre-race show. Appreciate you stopping by. Fans, we've got more coming up. We've got Aaron Morey from Bilstein about to come to the stage to chat with us, kind of give us an update on the state of the shocks and springs that the great folks from Bilstein do. So as we get him up here, we'll go to about a 60-second break or so and be right back to the stage here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Camping Party Pavilion, right alongside of zMax Dragway at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be right back.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle. The World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Case Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Series Big Blocks collide. 4 action-packed nights, 3 season champions. Get your tickets now. November 2nd through the 5th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Since 1985, Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop has been part of thousands of wins and championships at racetracks across the country. Each Willie's Carburetor is hand-built, sent across a dyno and tuned before shipping. That means your carburetor arrives race-ready. Just bolt it on and go. Plus, Willie's 2 chassis dynos can dial in winning setups for a variety of race cars. Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop, the choice of champions.
Welcome back to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, right alongside of zMax Dragway. We're inside of the Charlotte Motor Speedway Camping Party Pavilion. This is PRN's At the Track. I'm Lenny Baticki. And before we get our next guest, Aaron Morey, right there next to me, want to remind you about Speedway Children's Charities, those red buckets, and this big old check for the 50-50 that'll be happening this weekend. If you're here in the Party Pavilion or wherever around here you can hear me, they've got a booth set up that you could buy your 50-50 tickets right now while you're here this evening and all throughout the week. That money's going to be building. We're going to have a massive 50-50, and you could be one of those folks that ends up with that winning ticket. Buy yours now, maybe buy a few more throughout the week, maybe get some of those arm lengths. As Speedway Children's Charities, the money goes directly to the kids, and we appreciate what they do. So get involved with the 50-50 while you're here at the World of Outlaws World Finals. And Aaron Morey, we couldn't turn the lights on here without the great things that you have helped us be able to do with Bilstein and such. How are things with Bilstein? I mentioned just a little bit ago, street stocks and a lot of the access points that the grassroots racer now can find Bilstein products at parts houses all across the fruited plain, as they say.
Yeah, everything seems to be working. I think if we just keep focusing on winning on Sunday, selling on Monday, it's always going to be it's always going to prove itself out. And so far, we've been really, really blessed with some great people. Tanner English, World of Outlaw, had a great run. I hate to see the last couple weeks there and the rainouts and everything's going to fall a little bit short. But what we've learned is when we can win with the World of Outlaws, when we can win at that level, then we sell a lot more street stocks.
You've got a lot of knowledge behind each of these shocks that comes in and such. What is the engineering pool that goes into the thought process to make these better each and every day for anybody that gets involved?
Right now we've aligned with Kevin Rumley, Vinny Giuliani, as well as we've got Antonio out of Mexico City. We got a guy named Tyler out of University of Cincinnati. Not to mention we've got over 100 in the Cincinnati Hamilton plant that we share ideas with back and forth, and as well as Germany and just about 20 in California. Mm-hmm. So between all of them, as long as we can continue understanding what the problems are, then we have a good team that can try to fix them.
Do you find in dirt racing it's compression? Is it rebound? Is it spring? What are some of the things that are, a way you go about fixing with Bilstein? What some of these drivers, need fixing?
Well, it's so confusing because sometimes it's aero, right? With the dirt late models, it's the aero is the first thing. You got to get the platform right. Right now we're utilizing the shocks, the springs, everything that Bilstein can do. The first step is trying to get the platform right. Once we get the platform right, then we try to take the shock out of it. So we're, the most shock we can take out of it, the more grip we're going to have, mechanical grip. So it's a balance. We're fighting aero more so today than ever. I think you can see that when you watch the races. The shocks play a big role in that. Once we understand the problems, then we can try to address it. And it's always aero and it's always compliance.
So many of the grassroots racers feel like, they get a box and they got to bolt it on. Can they communicate with you and your engineers? How does somebody that is, a local down at Lawrence County Speedway that wants to get a setup, or at least somebody that will tell them some advice, is that sort of available? Yeah, no, it definitely is. We try to go, our best to go through distribution. Chassis builders, shock rebuilders. But at the end of the day, sometimes the best way to get some of the latest and greatest is to call us. What we're learning on the weekend with these guys, it all adapts. There's a trickle down that, if we can find speed with a certain platform, it's going to work for the most, out there on a Saturday night. And information key, have you debuted the updated website yet? That's still in progress. Where are we at? So, yeah, we've got a new website being developed right now. We're probably still 6 to 7 months out before a launch date. Yep. But I believe they started on at the beginning of October. So kind of when we get into spring, heart of the racing season, there'll be some new information points, new places to go with the website? Yeah, I mean, our goal is to try to get, we've got our technology, I believe, ahead of the competition. We're trying to get our data, ahead of the competition. So, we're going to probably start having QR codes on shocks, and multiple QR codes where you could watch a video, you could watch it, how do you put the bump stop on? How do you adjust it? Maybe even how do you service it? I'm not sure what the limit is, but we're going to continue to try to push it. You guys are cutting edge, and we're honored to have Bilstein as a part of this. Right now, for any of the grassroots racers or anyone else, how do they get in touch to be a part of, to get a set of shocks or springs? I mean, we're definitely available through every warehouse distributor. Then our website, BilsteinUS.com. So there you go, BilsteinUS.com. Aaron Morey, the guy puts it all together and has so many great folks that make it all happen for all of the Bilstein customers, and we appreciate all that Bilstein does. Stay with us. We got another guest coming up here. In fact, we're going to bring up now, we won't even go to break. We're going to bring up a couple of folks within the world of iRacing, and we've talked and teased about it. And in fact, I think somebody, here it is, brought one of the World of Outlaws video games up here. So we pull out an extra chair. We got a microphone. Is the mic on? Yep, the mic is on. And Evan C. And alongside of him from World Racing Group, everybody getting set up here. Jordan DeLuca. Jordan, what you up to? You're doing iRacing now? I think it was on. Yeah. It's that electronic stuff. So how's things?
Not too bad. Just glad to be in here. Been watching this for since 2018, so it's awesome to kind of be up here on stage with you.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. I love what this young guy is doing. I talked to Fergie about you a couple minutes ago. Am I right? You came from dirt karting and Ultramax? Did I see that right? Racing down at Sugar Tea and Possum Kingdom and all those tracks? Hit that button to make it green. There we go. Now we can hear you.
Yep, I've been doing that since about 2004, and him and my dad both raced on the same team at the Ultramax, and so I'm just kind of grew up in racing and ventured into iRacing when I found out about it.
Wow. So he found iRacing and now is the champion. Explain to me that process, but so I can ask him some more questions.
Well, I think it was a 10-race series that you guys ran. Him and I think
is this a butt kicker or something?
Yes,
series?
it was the World of Outlaws butt kicker iRacing late model series. They ran a 10-race schedule over the last I think 10 weeks or so, and I think it was like 30-some drivers, I think, Evan, and they had a big qualifying series for it, but over the summer, and whittled it down to 30-something drivers who competed, and 24 start the main, and Evan won 5 races or something like that. So it was an incredible season for him.
How about your rig? What do you got? Are you one of those guys that's got the full Denny Hamlin household setup, or you do it off of your old school desk? Where are you at in between there?
Well, I guess it wouldn't be off an old school desk. I don't have nothing really that fancy, but
do you like to lay back to do it, or are you kind of up on it?
I mean, it's like a regular fold-out chair that you can just put out a table. So I'm almost, I would say, sitting like you would be in like a sprint car, maybe. Kind of up on the wheel. I mean, it's not the fanciest, I would say, but it works for me. And then I use a VR headset. I got the virtual reality headset, puts you inside the car basically, and that's what I use. And
this deal to be at your level is a much bigger deal than just playing it every now and then at the house and such. About how much hours and process during the week do you put in to be at this level?
I mean, I'd say when I started out trying to get to this level, I was, on basically every night, I would say, every night, 7 days a week, probably just trying to get to this level, because, it takes a lot of time. Just like in real life, if you're going to get to that level, you got to put in time, put in the laps, and, know the cars. Obviously it's different than real life when it comes to setup, but, you got to figure it out, and that's what we did. And, I've kind of backed off of it now, because, we're at that point to, we ain't got to spend all that time, but, you still got to get on and, stay competitive and, be up to the game that everybody else is.
So how about this game here? How do you rate the new game, and what's fun about it?
Well, I actually haven't tried it yet, but, it looks great. I'm glad that iRacing is trying to venture out and, get some more people involved in dirt racing, because I'm sure a lot of people that maybe don't go to the track a lot see that and might pick it up and might get involved in dirt racing and become a fan.
Jordan, I saw just a little of it over there, and so realistic and
Absolutely.
such. Where can folks get it? What's the history and the background that ramped it up so that it's been available now?
Well, I think right now, if you can buy it at local retail stores, Walmart's got it. You can buy it on any virtual console stores, Xbox, PlayStation, wherever.
You really have Shane Clanton on the front of that? Did I see that?
That is Shane Clanton, yes.
Wow.
Yep. No, it was really awesome to get Brad and Shane on the cover, two perfect representatives for the World of Outlaws. Former current champions for Brad, and a former champion in Shane.
I love poking Shane, so that's
right.
Why I added it. Brad.
It's been a little while since he's won one, but he's still a champ.
It's okay.
But no, it's great. Shane and Brad are such great representatives of the World of Outlaws, true champions, and have been loyal to the series for so long. Shane with Shane, of course, coming back this year, and Brad getting set to defend a title this year too. So, but you're right, Lenny. The game is so realistic. It just compares so much to the iRacing simulation, which is of course on the rig that we've got over there. I think the guys at Monster Games and iRacing have done an incredible job. I just tried it for my first time over there with the new UMP modified DLC pack just came out. I believe it was on the 28th last Friday. So. I enjoyed really talking to all the guys and helping the kind of the relations go there between iRacing and the drivers to get their stuff in the game. So we've got 18 or 19 real-life dirt car modified drivers in the game, with more to come, hopefully, and just put Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in there.
Yes.
So one of the great track, a staple dirt car weekly track. It's awesome, the amount of realism in there. There's over 40 tracks you can play, and right on a home console. You don't even need a big fancy, multi-$1,000 iRacing rig. Just get a home console, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, and race them up. It's fun for the whole family.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming out. And Evan, great to have you stop by as well. Congratulations on your championship.
Thank you.
Well earned. And certainly over the years since COVID, I've really gotten to know some of the different iRacers. And, you know, what you do is certainly very, very important and cool. And, you know, glad that you were able to hang out and tell us about the game. Jordan as well. Fans, stay with us. We're going to go to a break right now, and we'll be back with more PRNs at the track, our World of Outlaws World Finals pre-race show. We'll be right back.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle. The World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Case Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Series Big Blocks collide. 4 action-packed nights, 3 season champions. Get your tickets now. November 2nd through the 5th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Since 1985, Willys Carburetor and Dyno Shop has been part of thousands of wins and championships at racetracks across the country. Each Willys carburetor is hand-built, sent across a dyno and tuned before shipping. That means your carburetor arrives race-ready. Just bolt it on and go. Plus, Willys 2 chassis dynos can dial in winning setups for a variety of race cars. Willys Carburetor and Dyno Shop, the choice of champions.
Yo, woke up, let's go. I just sat down.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love. And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Welcome back to PRN's At the Track, the World of Outlaws World Finals pre-race show. And now we're kind of like NFL today because you got a former Hollywood, Florida, born and raised Miami Dolphin fan and probably racing's biggest Dolphin fan. I don't know anybody that's bigger in the racing world that likes the Dolphins. Have you run into anybody like that?
I know a few people that like him, but I don't know if I know
Blair,
anybody that likes him more.
Who's this rascal with us?
That's my 4-year-old McLean. He's a big Dolphins fan too.
Oh yeah, which Dolphin do you like the best? Tua? Yep. Think he's underrated? Oh yeah, I like the way he throws though. He was really gunning it last week, wasn't he? How about this guy here? You give him some driving tips every now and then. you get him to pull up to the door every now and then and go, Dad, you need to go a little quicker or something like that?
Yeah, he's got a handshake he gives me every time we get in.
Well, that is so important. And you know, growing up in South Florida, drag racer Darrell Gwynn and his father had a handshake before every Top Fuel run, every run that he made in his career. So that's a neat thing to have. Couple wins. I don't remember where you won this year, but trying to keep it all in mind. What is your memory of the wins, and help me remember?
The first one was at Gaffney, which it was real exciting. You know, we didn't go there expecting to even have a shot to win. So we were competitive all weekend, and we won the big race on Saturday. And then the second one was at Bloomsburg, which it's close to the house.
Yeah.
We've raced there a few times before. So
that's the fairgrounds, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little place.
Wow. What about some of the places that you hadn't almost even heard of? You look on the schedule and go, okay, I got to map it out and go there. Any of those surprise you and fit your style, and now you can't wait to go back and really attack it?
Yeah, there was. We went to a lot of new places. Fairbury was awesome. Everybody loves that place.
Right.
But I really enjoyed going to Boyd's and Smoky Mountain. There was a lot of places we went to for the first time. A lot of them. And, a lot. I'm really looking forward to going back next year with a little bit of a notebook and just having an idea what to do.
Boyd, Smoky Mountain, Cherokee, all southeast tracks, kind of the southeast dirt. Did you just pick up on how to read it and how to see the moisture in there?
I don't know about that. I think it just fits me a little better. It's more like the racetracks around home. They just race a lot more like what I'm used to.
And more being more. I mean, those tracks don't have super big straightaways. Nice kind of roundish turns. Am I right? Kind of arching turns. What makes them fit your style?
You don't have to race on the fence. You can race down the racetrack. That's more me. But
you like catfishing down there.
Yeah, that's more me. But no, I mean, there was a lot of places that we went out west to that were a lot of fun. We, like I said, Fairbury and a lot of them places. We went to a lot of new places and had a ton of fun at all of them. And I'm looking forward to trying it again. After we've been at them places once.
How about the black dirt in Illinois? Not just Fairbury, but that real dark stuff at some of those tracks. How is that to even try to figure out?
It's different. I mean, it's very different for me. I've never really raced out there hardly at all till this year. So, it took us a little bit. I think we got better and better as the year went on. And like I said, hopefully, we can carry that into next year. And
multiple championships at home, racing against great regional competition and such. What was the difference getting into a World of Outlaws race on a regular basis and that kind of competition and that? Did you find that if you were up in the top 5 or so, it was a different bubble than further back? Kind of help me understand.
I mean, the biggest thing is just how cool everybody is. Like it's one big family. You travel up and down the road with all these people every single week. So, we race each other hard. Things might happen on the racetrack, but the next week you still park together. You're still friends. You still talk. It's very different from racing at home in that aspect, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you grow up a racer? How did you get involved?
Yeah, so my dad raced my whole life. It's really all I've ever known, all I've ever really done. So, I've really never thought there would be something else I would be doing. It's just all I've ever done.
Obviously, here you want to win this weekend, and you've run pretty well here. Where on the tour next year have you got kind of that penciled in? I can do it at this track. I want to get my next win when I go there, or a win when I go there.
Well, the schedule hasn't been released yet, but I'm just excited for the whole thing. Honestly, I'm excited to go back to Florida. I think for our first time down there, we ran pretty well. We did some good things. We had some bad days too, but hopefully maybe next year we can have a few less bad days and leave there a little better than we did this year.
So climb out of the car and do the waddle?
Yeah, he knows how to do the waddle.
Oh, yeah. Max Blair, what are you, third in points, couple of wins, 11 top 5s, 25 top 10s. How are you that consistent?
I mean, we've been trying. We've learned a lot. We struggled a little bit, and we've had some good runs. It just it's a long, grueling season, and you just kind of keep your head down and keep plugging away.
I asked Gordy about having to back down his time to be better prepared each day. Did you have to adjust your time to even go earlier to the car to work on it and get up and work harder?
I've raced for a living for a few years now, so not a lot changed, and I've raced a lot each year too. The biggest thing that changed for me is how far I'm driving to each race. I didn't drive 15, 18 hours all that often before. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by here and bring those Dolphins home a victory here for all of us Dolphin fans. And, go 17-0 next year. Get some of that stuff too. Max Blair, our guest here, and appreciate you stopping by with your son. And we will now pause here just within the guest situation. We're at the dirt track, Charlotte Motor Speedway, World of Outlaws World Finals. Thanks for stopping by, Max. And our next guest is Brock Zerfross coming up. And we will get Brock here, the 2017 Port Royal champion, Jonestown Jet. I want to ask him what he has on his Twitter page. It says he's a former posse member. How do you get to not be a posse member if you've been one? So here comes Brock, and I even made a couple of questions for him on my little notes going into this, so we'll get you in. Hey, the button's already green, so you're good to go there.
Cool.
Somewhere on your social media it says you're a former PA posse. How do you jump out of that gang?
I don't know if I'm out of it completely. I guess it depends if you win there or not. I don't know. I mean, I've always wanted to run with the Outlaws, and you can't be both. So I guess when we joined the Outlaws, it was the end of the posse days. Hopefully, if I ever go back, which I hope it's not for a long time, that they accept me back. So cheered or booed, it doesn't matter. I love racing at home. Some of the most passionate fans that you'll ever see. So, such a great place to race.
I would think so, growing up there, the Jonestown Jet and stuff. Will you go there over the off season? Is that still home?
Yeah, we're still in the Jonestown area, and actually moved to Grantville, which is the town over, but close enough. And so we'll get ready for next season. And
tell me about Cedar Lake, the win this year.
Yeah, Cedar Lake was one of them nights where it's just like it has to go every night with an outlaw race. You have to be perfect every time you're on a racetrack, and you have to have luck. So it fell our way. It was not many times you go running fifth, and the caution comes out. Next thing you know, you're second. So wow. Like I said, you just it was an opportunity presented, and every time you're presented with one of those, you have to take advantage of it. So a little bit.
Do you tell yourself in the car in the heat of battle that, like you said, you were fifth, and then you move up to second? You say, "Wait a minute, I've been given a gift. Now it's time to see if I can cash in."
Yeah, I mean, when you're given I guess we could call it a gift, and it's just your job to take advantage of that, and like I said, you have to have a little bit of luck too. So the luck there was Brad chose the high line, and there was a grip on the bottom, and just nailed the restart, and it wasn't given to us, and we didn't run whatever it was, 12 or so laps green the rest of the way. It was, we had 3 or 4 cautions in between, so you have to execute every time.
Wow, a lot of restarts.
Yeah, I wish it was easy. It went green the whole way, but when you have guys like Brad Sweet, David Gravel, them guys behind you, they're capitalizing on any mistake. So you have to be perfect every single time.
Do you catalog how he restarted last time, and now is he going to be that way, or is he going to do it a different way? Yeah. What's that game like?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cat and mouse game. Being seconds, I feel a little bit easier. But the guy in the lead has to be smart about it too. So, you just have to time your stuff right, and hopefully the guy behind you isn't timing you at the same time. So, you can get a pretty nice run being in second and just kind of creep up and go. But, kind of being in the lead, it kind of dictates when you want to go. Fortunately, it's not right exactly at the line. You get a little bit of time to choose. So, that makes it a little bit easier. But, it's still difficult to be up front and stay up front like that. And like I said, it just went our way that night.
So the Grove 2017, you get a win at Cedar Lake. Can you even put the two equal, comparative? How 17 had to be amazing, but at home and those circumstances, what does Cedar Lake feel in the heart?
Cedar Lake is definitely a big sigh of relief. But both are very special. It's 2 different kinds there. So you have, one as a local guy, the local fans are cheering for you, and you're beating the Outlaws, and the next one you're an outlaw. So I don't really know how many people have actually got to be a local and an outlaw and win both sides. But it's pretty cool to be able to say that, and it just shows that our family team is capable of running up front and being up front with the World of Outlaws. So I'm pretty proud of that.
You speak of the Outlaws with that tone of reverence of the history of being an outlaw. Who was your outlaw that you looked up to and said, I want to be an outlaw like that guy?
Yeah. So I grew up at Williams Grove Speedway, Indian Field, watching Steve Kinzer, Sammy Swindell, all them guys, Brian Monteith, and all the locals, Lance DeWeese, all them guys, Freddie Raymer, and I wanted to be one of them. Mm-hmm. I wanted to beat the Outlaws, and then I wanted to be an outlaw at the same time. So it's cool to be able to say that I lived the dream. I became a full-time outlaw. I race for a living, which is what I wanted to do. Not many people get to say they've lived a dream and doing what they love to do. So, so I'm very fortunate to be able to do that, be able to win as a posse member and an outlaw. So it's, it's a pretty blessed life.
Moose's Bar and Grill, we hear about it all the time. What's your favorite meal there?
Best place to eat, bud.
What do you eat there?
I don't know. I've had everything about 6 times, so no, it's all good,
Wait
man.
Staff cool? Everybody good?
Yeah, it's one of the best places to go.
You got a fire suit in there or something?
There's a couple racing parts in there. Dad wants to get half of a race car hanging on the roof, so that might be pretty cool. But one day hasn't been done yet, but I'm sure someday it'll happen.
We'll put it up on social media so we can let the world know. And Brock, thank you for taking the time to stop in here. Brock Zierfoss, winner at Cedar Lake this year. And we have more coming up. Thank you for stopping in. We got our next guest, I believe, is Adam Pearson from Vermont, along with his car owner. So we'll get them up here. By the way, Speedway Children's Charities, 50-50 bucket here alongside of me. I don't think anybody's come by with their tickets yet, but we've got the 50-50 check, and the booth where they're selling those tickets is off to the stage right. They don't have to come by here and stop with us. So, Adam, how are you guys? Car owner and driver?
Car owner, driver.
And what makes, from a car owner standpoint, hold the wireless a little closer, what makes him such a hot shoe that he drives your equipment?
That's a good question. we've just been friends a long time.
You know, if we know that, then you can next year when you're contract negotiating highlight those things. So I'm working on your side there.
Yeah. The contract negotiations has got to win first, you know.
You'll get there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. We had a good season last year, and I've known Gaines quite.
I ain't talking about that. I want to find out about East Corinth. I read that's where the Beetlejuice Bridge is.
Yep.
Because I didn't know where East Corinth, Vermont was at all.
Nobody does.
No. I mean, you're out there where maple trees are and all that other stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, because you are the true grassroots racer living the dream, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a very lucky person. I got a lot of people behind me, including, like, my dad. He's the one that started me from when I was 15.
And your grandfather raced, too, right?
Yeah, my grandfather, my great-uncle, both my uncles.
You got any, like, a helmet that Grandpa used or any tools? You got any wrenches, from back in those days?
Actually, there is one sledgehammer in my garage. We call it Big Bertha. It was in my grandfather's garage. So that thing's probably pushing 40-something years old, and it's still going.
Wow.
It's come off, like, pounding stuff apart. Yeah. It's come flying, so we put it back on, bend it over, weld it up again, and keep going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No. So you let him smack your car with that?
We try not to.
You raced midgets, you raced other cars and such. What went into the process of all those cars that now you do in the big block modifieds, Super Dirt Car?
I'd probably say experience at different racetracks, racing with different people, different track conditions, because that's really what I'm lacking. I mean, yeah, I did a lot. I did really good at my home tracks and stuff, but then I wanted to start traveling. And actually, a long time ago, Gage is the one that actually started traveling to New York. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go out there. I know that guy, you know?
Yeah.
And so I pitted next to him. And then, I don't know, it was like a year later or two maybe. He's like, hey, you want to try one of my cars? I'm like, you have one car. And he's like, no, I have another one. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I will. And that night we were running like Albany, Saratoga, we were running like, I think 6th and 7th. And a guy chopped me and I got spun. But I think you ended up like 6th or 5th that night.
Yeah.
So, and then it kind of started from there. We came down to the dirt track stuff here for the sportsman stuff, and then here we are.
What was the flicker of the light that you saw in his talent? Where did you see something that said, maybe this one?
We always raced together, always a clean driver. A lot of it is, I knew he didn't have much of a budget, and at that point, like, I'm busy business-wise, so I don't get to race as much, so occasionally I'll race, but, and we've kind of clicked together since, and we started with a small block and
so
into
all
the big block stuff.
The low-budget stuff, the late nights with the small amount of people around, Grandpa's hammer coming off the stick and all, and now, Land of Legends, you see him hunting Shepherd for that maybe win. What's going through your car owner mind as your piece is chasing that vapor trail off of Shepherd's big block?
I'm sitting there watching this race on Dirt Vision, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm throwing stuff because the caution keeps coming out. And I'm like, we don't want a caution. We don't want a caution. We know Shepherd's going to win. He's run a million laps around that place, but I'm like, second place, all night long, and then every 2 laps caution. It'd be the same guy, too, that would be spinning out. And you're like, black flag him, get him off the racetrack, he's going to spin again, you know?
So I know he's not at the track now, but are you in the helmet not only having to worry about Shepard, but thinking he's probably screaming at Dirt Vision at that point?
I mean, he's going to scream at me anyways. He always tells me I suck all the time. You know, we have a good relationship. But no, it's I don't know. When you're getting a race car, you just kind of go. And
what did you learn following Shepard in those laps and those restarts?
Actually, in the restarts, I didn't really want to jump him because he was going to show me the right line, and that's kind of what showed me most of the race. The track definitely helped us. It was heavy, so that helped us. And we started up front. But, you know, we kind of maintained. We kind of hung with him for a while, but after a time, I mean, it's Shepard.
What's a good finish for you this weekend?
This weekend?
What's on the true goal list?
A true goal list, I would like to get 1 win. And we've been so close this year in the whole series. We should have had one at Albany, lost the motor. At the Valley, we were running second, going for the lead with like 50 to go, and lost the motor there. But that's the goal. But you know, it takes a lot of people. You know,
you got T-shirts to sell them?
I don't, unfortunately.
Well,
because we're trying to get motor stuff together, and you know, just one of those things.
Well, you're going to have a lot of new fans from stopping in. We appreciate the stories, and we just have such condensed amount of time.
Yeah.
But thank you for taking the time and bringing your car owner. That's cool to have.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, he's good stories about you.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We've got another guest coming, so we'll let these two guys dismount from the chairs and all. Carson Ferguson, a driver that has won probably more U.S. Legends races back when he was a wee little guy. And now he's a big dirt super late model driver and wheeling a car that is equipped with Bilsteins, as his shirt says. Little Fergie, what you up to, bud?
How are you?
I'm good. You've made the jump to super late model on the dirt side this year. Really feel like you've got it. Do you yet feel like when you go there now that you've got the shot at least to win where most places you go?
Not quite.
Not
I
quite.
mean, we're showing up to the races, and you know, big races like this, we're still obviously trying to make the race as the main goal, and then go on from there. But you know, it's such a big learning curve this year. You're jumping from crate to super, and then still trying to get as comfortable on dirt as I once was on asphalt. So, you know, we got a great team. And
you and Wesley Page, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, with Donald Bradshaw and Gina Bradshaw, and you know, Longhorn Bilstein. I got all the pieces to the puzzle. Like, you know, a lot of people don't get to have that early in their career. So it's been a lot easier for me, but at the same time, just trying to perform behind the wheel is the biggest part of it.
The communication with Wesley on the setups, has it gotten to be where now it's almost like, you know, in ball sports, a no-look pass? Do you guys know each other well enough to 1 or 2 words, or do you still have to draw things out yet?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get to go with us a lot. He's been coming here more lately, and I feel like we've really picked up a lot. You know, we started off fast at the beginning of the season, but we really don't know why we were fast. And then we hit a dry sump, you know, halfway through the year, and then I feel like we're starting to pick our speed back up. But yeah, we're getting to work together more. You know, and we have all the tools with Bilstein, with Rumley, and you know, all the years of growing, you know, at T-Mac the past few years, just trying to develop Bilstein to what it is today. So having Wesley Page in my corner, you know, and everybody a phone call away is definitely a big contribution.
You ran the crates. You used Bilsteins then, right? And all. What do you tell other crate drivers? I know the super guys, you know, they're typically got their processes down. But when you look into the TV camera and your friends are watching, or they ask you about what Bilsteins did to make your car turn better and such, what do you tell them and recommend them about the product?
I mean, I really don't think people understand the importance of shocks until you know, get to maybe compare a few sets. But you know, a big the car can feel great, and we're still have a second off, but that's probably the biggest part, just going to the weekly races and trying to pick up, wins here and there last year. And then we made the switch to Bilstein probably a quarter of the way through the year, and I really feel like our performance has picked up. The car still felt, a lot more grip, obviously, but, like I said, your car can feel good and you still have a second off the pace, but that kind of made up the difference.
Next year, back in a Super?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Goals yet? Thoughts about places that you want to do well at? What are you thinking?
Yeah, obviously just your big shows you get to go to, Eldora and everything. We had a good showing there when we went the first time this year, and nothing really went our way, the second time. But, I think just trying to finish more top fives. We've had a few chances to win big races this year, and whether it's me, getting nervous behind the wheel and never driving, just it's a lot harder whenever you got, who's behind you and the spotter stick stay close. So, I got a lot of learning, and just trying to minimize mistakes next year is going to be the biggest part of it.
I've been blessed to watch a lot of your wins as you've come up through your career, and I certainly am excited about more wins in the future for our guest here, Carson Ferguson. Appreciate you stopping by and being a part of Team Bilstein. It is a wonderful atmosphere here. Dirty Grass Soul will be coming up in just a little bit. We're supposed to clear off of the stage here. In fact, we've even got a local announcement. We got a Georgia plate. There's a silver Chevy Silverado that we need that move. So if you're here from Georgia and you've got a silver Chevy Silverado somewhere out there, they need it moved. So please do. And if you're at home, thank you for joining us here on pitrow.tv. I think, wait, Mr. Farney is coming up? Oh, we're not wait, we've got the white flag now because Mr. Checkered Flag is, come on up here, Farney. Come on up here. I love me some Dave Farney. So you got to put the headset thing on, and you already got the green light on. Turn the thing around. Yeah, it's not like the flags where as long as you've got the wooden end, the other end flaps and all these darn things, and So you get to use the sticks this weekend again?
Yeah, well, one more weekend. It's great to be in Charlotte for sure.
It's awesome to have you. I didn't realize the first time I saw you how cool it was until I watched the second time and could pick up the things that you do up there. So spectacular. Who taught you? How did you ever get this gift of being such an entertainer in that spot?
I think it's just a matter of watching the number of people over the years. I had always been a fan. Mm-hmm. My mother and father worked for Dirt back in the inception of the organization way back. I just went and watched and watched a lot of great flaggers over the years. And every time I go to a race, you pick up little tidbits or little pieces of things that do happen. So, these guys over here are all busting on me now too. But, it's part of the show. And
so just like your friends are off camera busted on you,
right.
Do you get drivers, during a caution lap that are giving you gestures more than just the number one, that just bust on you while they're driving underneath you?
I was a high school principal, so I got gestures often.
Yeah.
Actually, not really, but thank goodness.
Who's the one that tries to get your attention the most? Who busts your chops?
There's a number of drivers over the years. Guys, Timmy Fuller was one that always did, and Billy Decker and I go back and forth because I've done this now for 30 years. So. Mm-hmm. A lot of the older drivers have been around with them, and it's enjoyable. I do this because I, like you and everybody else and all these people out here, it's a passion for the sport.
Yes.
And, there's no better sport out there. And I was an athletic director in school. I was a football official for 42 years.
Wow.
And sports are near and dear to my heart. Racing is exceptionally near and dear to my heart. And, it's a family affair. Obviously.
We don't get to see the Northeast family, the Super Dirt cars, as much as a lot of us enjoy them when they come here. This season, races all over again, special finishes, special runs. is there one lap, one finish that is your 2022 lap that you crystallized this year under?
You know, it's just like people ask me all the time, who are my favorites?
Mm-hmm.
They're all my favorites, you know, and there's nobody, no matter what the situation might be, there's nobody out there, no race that's one better than the other. Mm-hmm. I mean, in each class, you know, I think you have to show respect for each of them, as I hope that they would do back in return. And it's like I always felt, that you show respect, you're going to get respect. And I think that's true in everything that you do in life, right?
Well, we certainly love the respect that you get from the drivers, the way you have the flags, and the fans. Do you feel the fans cheering you on some as well?
Definitely. You feed off it. You know, my wife keeps telling me it's time. You need to step back. It's time to let some young kids step in. And I don't know. It's an adrenaline rush, you know. And even last week, though, you know, the show last week, the fans weren't like it's what's going to be this weekend, but you know, you feed off the energy of the race itself, and you certainly feed off the energy of the spectators in the stands, and looking so forward to, you know, this week and weekend of seeing this outstanding racing that we put on, that the drivers put on for the show that's here and every other track that I work in. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, I'm a Farney fan and can't wait to see you up there. Thank you for stopping by. We got to finish this out. It is our checkered flag time now. We certainly appreciate all of you tuning in here to Pit Row TV, our PRNs at the track pre-race show for the World of Outlaws World Finals coming up the whole next 4 days. Different classes, different cars, all kinds of things going to be happening. Thanks to Bilstein for their support of our broadcast. Remember that it's not just about dirt super late model, all the way down through street stock and such. You can get that Bilstein technology and check it out as well. Stay with us if you're here locally. Make sure that you are here to be able to watch the folks from Dirty Grass Soul. Kevin Dedman and the whole bunch there are going to put on an awesome show. The activities this week, you can see on the screen here, the different things that will be coming up throughout. But for all of us at Pit Row TV and PRNs at the track, we appreciate you tuning in to the World of Outlaws World Finals pre-race show from the CMS Camping Party Pavilion at zMax Dragway, right next to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll see you for the World of Outlaws World Finals. So long.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars align in an electrifying spectacle. The World of Outlaws World Finals. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Cased Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Series Big Blocks collide. 4 action-packed nights, 3 season champions. Get your tickets now. November 2nd through the 5th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Since 1985, Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop has been part of thousands of wins and championships at racetracks across the country. Each Willie's Carburetor is hand-built, sent across a dyno and tuned before shipping. That means your carburetor arrives race-ready. Just bolt it on and go. Plus, Willie's 2 chassis dynos can dial in winning setups for a variety of race cars. Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop, the choice of champions.
Yo, welcome up. Let's go. I just sat down.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy is more important than a trophy. That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love. And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.